you all. In the last session, I explained you about the looping statement. So, looping statements are used to execute the sequence of statements repeatedly for n number of times or until the condition satisfied. So, in looping, the looping statements are divided into two types based on the position of the control statement. One is entry control loop and exit control loop. In the entry control loop, the condition checking start at the first. Okay, in the beginning itself the condition will be checked. If condition is satisfied, then the body of the loop will execute. If condition is not satisfied, then the body of the loop will be skipped. That is entry control loop. In exit control loop, first body of the loop will execute, later condition will be verified. If condition is satisfied, then it go back to the loop again to execute the body of the loop. After executing the body of the loop, it will check the condition again. So, this process will be repeat until the condition is satisfied. Once the condition is not satisfied, then it will terminate from the loop. So, all looping statement consists of mainly 4 steps. One is initialization, condition checking, execution of the body statement, then updating the control variable. Updating the control variable or increment or decrement the control variable. So, mainly looping statements are divided into two categories. One is condition control loop and counter control loop. In condition control loop, the loops are controlled based on the condition. In counter control loop, the loops are controlled by the counter value. Means in the counter control loop, the condition, the loop iteration will be performed based on the number of times. In the counter control loop, we know how many times the loop need to be executed, but in condition control loop, number of times repetition is unknown. The statement will be repeated till the condition is satisfied. So, in C language, it supports mainly 3 types of loops. One is while loop, do while loop and the for loop. Okay, in the last session, I explained the 2 looping statements, that is while statement and do while statement. While is entry control loop and do while is the exit control loop. Okay, in this session we are going to discuss one more looping statement, that is the for loop. Okay, for loop is a entry control loop. It is a more efficient looping statement. So, this statement is used for executing the sequence of statement repeatedly for n number of times. The general form of for loop is the keyword for, then initialization, semicolon, test condition, semicolon, increment or decrement. Increment or decrement, then body of the loop. Body of the loop. Okay, here first the initialization will be performed. After initializing the control variable, then test will be evaluated. Test condition will be evaluated. Okay, that is the second one. Test condition will be evaluated. After evaluating the test condition, then it will execute the body of the loop, depends upon the result. Okay, here if the condition is evaluated true, then it executes the body of the loop. That is the third step. So, if condition is satisfied, then it will execute the body of the loop. After executing the body of the loop, the control is transferred to increment and decrement. The control will be transferred to increment and decrement. So, once it increments the control variable, then the control is transferred back to condition checking. So, condition checking will be performed. If condition is satisfied, then it executes the body of the loop. After executing the body of the loop, it will go back to the loop again to increment or decrement the conditional variable. So, after incrementing after incrementing or decrementing the control variable, then control goes back to the test condition. So this process will iterate until the condition is satisfied. Once this condition is not satisfied, then it will terminate from the loop, then executes the statement X. If condition is not satisfied, then the control is transferred to statement X. So here the first initialization will be performed. After initializing the control variable, then condition will be verified. If condition is satisfied, then the control is transferred to body of the loop. Then after executing the body of the loop, the control is transferred back to increment and decrement. After incrementing and decrementing the value, control variable value, then test condition will be evaluated. So if test condition is not satisfied, then the control is transferred to statement X. So here the process of repetition will be performed till the condition is satisfied. Once the condition is not satisfied, the control is transferred back to the transfer to the statement X. So if satisfied, repeat. If not satisfied, then it will terminate from the loop. So the flow diagram is for initialization, test condition, increment and decrement. Increment or decrement. Increment or decrement. If condition satisfied, body of the loop. Body of the loop. After executing the body of the loop, the control is transferred back to loop. If condition is not satisfied, then it executes statement X. Okay, the entry test condition true, execute body of the loop, false, terminate from the loop. So here one of the important thing is all these three statements must be separated by semicolon. Okay, initialization semicolon, test condition semicolon, increment and decrement. Okay, in while and do while loop, initialization is in one location, test condition is one location, body of the loop, and inside the body of the loop we perform increment and decrement. But in for loop, initialization, test condition and increment and decrement is all present in the single line. So here increment, initialization, test condition and increment decrement, all these statements are present in the single line. So all the statements are present in the single line. But in while loop and for loop, the statements are present in different locations. So before checking the condition, the initialization will be performed. So the first initialization out of the while loop, next condition checking in the second line, next body of the loop. In the body of the loop, in update operation, increment and decrement operation. But in for loop, initialization, test condition and increment decrement are present in the single line. Okay, that is present in the single line. Here one of the important thing is initialization, test condition and increment decrement must be separated by semicolon. If in case if you miss semicolon, it will return error message. Okay. Now consider an example. For I is equal to 0, I less than I is equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. Printf percentage d slash n I. Okay, in this code, the value or the number 1 to 10 will be displayed. So you can see here initialization semicolon, condition checking semicolon, then increment operation. So here I plus plus can also be written as I is equal to I plus 1. We can also write, instead of I plus plus, we can also write I is equal to I plus 1. Then here the print statement. So printf percentage g slash n I. So first I value is initialized to 1. Here I value is initialized to 1. Next condition will be verified, that is 1 less than or equal to 10. Condition is true, then it will display I value. First it will display 1, then control is transferred to for loop again by incrementing the I value. So I is equal to I plus 1 means I becomes 2. So I increments, then I value verified. So 2 less than or equal to 10. If condition satisfied, now 2 less than or equal to 10 condition satisfied, then it will print the value. Then the control is transferred back to looping statement. So there the value will be increment. So I is equal to I plus 1. Next I value is 3. Next 3 less than or equal to 10 condition satisfied, it will print a value. Like that it will iterate till the value of I is equal to 11. Now I value is 11, 11 less than or equal to 10, condition is not satisfied. Once this condition is not satisfied, then the control is transferred, loop will be terminated, and the next statement. So the statements followed by the for loop statement will be execute. Okay. Similarly, we can also write this for loop statement like this. So for I is equal to 10, I is equal to 10, I greater than or equal to 1, I minus minus, I minus minus, printf percentage d slash n I. Okay. Here the loop initial value is set to 1 and the value is incremented till the value becomes 10. So here we are incrementing the value, but here the value of I is equal initialized to 10, then I greater than or equal to 1, I minus. So here the value is displayed in the reverse order, but in this example the value is displayed in the increasing order. So here we use a decrement operator, here increment operator is used. So you can write in the any form. So either you can use increment order, increasing order, or decreasing order. Okay, that is about the for loop statement. So for loop is a entry control loop, is efficient statement. So this is a general form of for loop statement. For is a keyword, initialization, test condition, and increment and decrement body of the loop. So first initialization will be performed, later the value initialized value will be verified with the condition. If condition satisfied, body of the loop will execute. If condition not satisfied, then it will terminate. If satisfied, body of the loop will execute, then the control is transferred back to the for loop again, and it will perform increment and decrement. After performing increment decrement, test condition will be verified. So this process will be iterate until the condition is satisfied. So one important thing is all the statements, so initialization, test condition, and increment decrement must be separated by comma. The statement must be separated by comma. Okay, now consider an example program. Okay, in the last session I written some programs to display even numbers, display odd numbers, and find sum of n numbers and square of first n numbers. So here I will write a program to find sum of n numbers, sum of n numbers. So the purpose of the program is program to find sum of n numbers. sum of n numbers. So first include stdio dot h void main. Here I need a looping variable, control variable I, one variable to get the value of n and the sum variable. Now printf enter the value for n. So here I'll read the value for n, then scanf percentage d values of n. So first I'll read the value for n. After reading the value, here I'll write for I is equal to 0 or I is equal to 1. Okay, 0 address is not necessary. So here I'll start with I is equal to 1. But in while loop, I need to write the initialization before the while statement. So here we can write inside the for loop. So I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to n. I less than or equal to n, then I plus plus, then sum is equal to sum plus I. Sum is equal to sum plus I. Then here I have initialized sum is equal to 0. The first value, initial value of I is equal to 1. So sum is equal to 0. 0 plus 1, 1. So 1 will be assigned to sum. Now it go back to the loop. It will increment the I value. Now I value is 2. 2 less than or equal to n. Condition is, if condition is satisfied, it will perform the sum operation. Now you consider the value of n is equal to 5. N is equal to 5. So now I is equal to 1. 1 less than or equal to n means 1 less than or equal to 5. Conditions true. Sum is equal to sum plus I means 0 plus 1. Now the value of sum is equal to 1. It will go back to the loop again. Then the value of I will be incremented by 1. Now I value is 2. 2 less than or equal to 5. Conditions true. Then sum is equal to sum plus I. Now the present sum value is equal to 1. 1 plus I means 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 will be assigned to sum. Next, it will go back to the loop again by incrementing the value of I by 1. Now the I value is 3. 3 less than or equal to 5. Conditions true. Now sum is equal to sum plus I. Now the present sum value is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. Then it go back to the loop. I value will be increment. I value is 4. 4 less than or equal to 5. Conditions true. Then sum is equal to sum plus I. Now present sum value is 6. 6 plus I. 6 plus I means 6 plus 4. Then the value is 10. 10 will be assigned to sum value. Then it will go back to the loop. I value is incremented by 1. Now I value is 5. So 5 less than or equal to 5. Conditions true. Then sum is equal to sum plus I. Sum is equal to sum plus I means 10 plus 5. 10 plus 5, that is 15. The value is 15. Now it will go back to the loop again by incrementing the value of I. So here I becomes 6. 6 less than or equal to 5. Now condition not satisfied. Then it will terminate from the loop. After terminating, then I display printf sum of n numbers is equal to percentage d slash n sum. Then terminate. Okay, this is the program for finding sum of n numbers. Finding sum of n numbers. Okay, similarly, there is one more program. One more program is program to find factorial of n number. or factorial of a number. Okay. Now, when you are calculating the factorial, now you assume the factorial of 5. The factorial of 5 is 5 factorial. 5 factorial can be written as 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This can also be written as 5 factorial is equal to 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. 1 into 3 into 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So, this is the 5 factorial value. So, in order to find the factorial of a given number, we need to use the for loop statement or looping statement. So, here we can use the for loop statement. Now, I directly start with void main. Void main. So, here input is the value, the n value. So, I use one looping variable, that is I, then one more variable for taking the value of n, then fact. So, I initialize fact is equal to 1. I have initialized fact is equal to 1. Now, printf enter the value for n. Enter the value for n. Scanf %d close address of n. Now, here the multiplication, here we need to perform multiplication of the number. So, first I need to multiply 1 with 2, then the result multiplied with 3, next the result multiplied with 4, next the result multiplied with 5. Okay, like that I need to multiply the numbers. So, for I is equal to 1. So, what is my initial number? The initial number is 1. Initial number is 1. If you start initial number 0, 0 into 1, 0, 0 into 2, 0, it will become, the result will become 0. So, that is why we need to start from 1. So, I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. Now, here we need to perform multiplication operation. So, I already mentioned I initialize the fact value is equal to 1. So, fact is equal to fact into I. Fact is equal to fact into I. Okay. Now, you consider my factorial value is, I need to find factorial for 5. So, the initial value of I is equal to 1. The initial fact value is 1. So, 1 less than or equal to 5, condition is true. Once this condition is true, fact is equal to fact into I. So, fact value is 1, I value is also 1, 1 into 1, 1. So, now the fact value is 1. Next, it will go back to the loop again, the value will be incremented by 1, now value is 2, 2 less than or equal to 5, condition is true. Now, fact is equal to fact into I, fact is equal to fact into I. What is the fact value? Fact value is 1, I value is equal to 2, so 1 into 2, then it becomes 2. Now, the fact value is 2. Then it will go back to the loop again by incrementing the value by 1. Now, the value of I is 3, 3 less than or equal to 5, condition is true. Then here fact value is 2, 2 into 3, 2 into 3, now it is 6. Now, it will go back to the loop again by incrementing the value of I by 1. Now, the value of I is 4. Now, 4 into fact is equal to fact into I. So, the present fact value is 6, 6 into 4, 6 into 4. So, 6 into 4 is 24. Now, the value of fact is 24. Next, it go back to the loop again by incrementing the value of I by 1. Now, the value of I is equal to 5 less than or equal to 5, 5 less than or equal to 5, condition is satisfied. Then fact is equal to fact into 5. Fact is equal to fact into 5. Now 24 into 5. Now it multiply 24 into 5. So it will return 120. So it will return 120 is the value. So it return 120 is the factorial value. Now after calculating a fact, it go back to the loop again by incrementing the value of I by 1. Now the value of I is equal to 6. 6 less than or equal to 5. Now condition is false. Once the condition is false, I'll print the value printf factorial is equal to %d / and double quote close, then fact and close bracket. Okay, this is the program for finding factorial of a given number. So here important thing is we need to initialize fact by 1 and I need to be start from 1. Okay, now compare the 3 looping statement: for loop, while loop and do while loop. So we already know for loop is entry control loop, while is also entry control loop, and do while is exit control loop. Okay, now I will consider for loop. For I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, I plus plus. Okay, in while I is equal to 0, while I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, then close bracket. In do while I is equal to 0, do 0, I plus plus, then close bracket, while I less than or equal to n and semicolon. Okay, the same program written 3 different versions. So here initialization, condition checking and increment decrement all present in a single line, but in while loop initialization is in one location, condition checking is in another location and increment decrementing in the another location. Okay, in do while initialization, increment decrement and test condition, all 3 statements are in 3 different locations. So here condition will be checked at the beginning, here also condition will be checked at the beginning, but in condition while condition is checked at the bottom. Okay, this is the difference between the while, do while and the for loop. So the first major difference between the while and do while is and for is for while are entry control loop are pre-test, do while is post test. Okay, in for loop statement initialization, test condition, increment decrement, all 3 statements are present in one line, but in while and do while the initialization, test condition and increment decrement are present in 3 different locations. So this is pre-test, pre-test and post-test, pre-test, pre-test and post-test. Okay, this loop is counter control loop. So for loop is considered as counter control loop and while and do while are called conditional control loop. While and do while are considered conditional control loop. So here it works based on the condition. Okay, that is about the comparison of 3 looping statement: for, while and do while statement. Okay, now consider some of the features of for loop. Some of the features of for loop. Okay, the first feature, consider for. So here I consider I is equal to 0. For j is equal to 0, I less than j less than n, j plus plus. Okay, now for this program, we need two initialization. One is I is equal to 0 and j is equal to 0. Okay, in for loop, it has a feature. The feature is for I is equal to 0, comma j is equal to 0, j less than n and j plus plus inside I plus plus. Okay, here we can initialize more than one variable. In for loop, we can initialize more than one variable. So the initialization must be separated by comma. The initialization must be separated by comma. Okay, that is a one feature. One more feature, I consider same example. For I is equal to 0, comma j is equal to 0, semicolon, j less than n, comma, semicolon. Here we can perform I plus plus and j plus plus, I plus plus and j plus plus. So here we can update more than one variable, but the statements must be separated by comma. The statement must be separated by comma. So here we can also write instead of I plus plus, we can also write I is equal to I plus 1, comma j is equal to j plus 1. Okay, this is one more feature. So in the first feature, we can initialize more than one variable, but the variables must be separated by comma. Similarly, we can also write more than one increment decrement statement, but the increment and decrement statement must be separated by comma, This is one more feature. One more feature is for I is equal to 0, I less than or I greater than, I less than 10 and j greater than 200, I plus plus, comma j plus plus. Okay, here we can write the compound statement. So you can see here I less than 10, and j greater than 200. Okay, there are two relational expression and one logical operation. So here the expressions is a combination of relational expression and logical expression. Okay, the compound statement, it may be a relational expression, arithmetic expression. Arithmetic expression are the combination of arithmetic, logic and the relational expression. So we can write the compound statement in the condition. Okay, that is one more feature of the for loop. Similarly, we can nested the for loop. So here for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. For j is equal to 0, j less than n and j plus plus. So we can write for loop within another for loop. We can write for loop statement within the another for loop statement. We can write nested for loop statement. Okay, there is one more feature of the for loop statement is I is equal to 0 for I less than or equal to 10, then I plus plus. So observe carefully, here in the for loop I have not specified the initialization and I have not specified increment and decrement. So I have skipped initialization as well as the increment and decrement. So, I have written the initialization before the for loop and I have performed increment operation inside the for loop. So, this can be possible. So, here in the for loop statement we can skip more than one expression. Okay, either we can skip initialization or increment and decrement. Okay, that is also possible in the for loop statement. So, we can skip more than one statement in the for loop expression. So, the first feature is we can initialize more than one variable, but the initialization must be separated by comma. Then we can also increment, we can also write increment decrement operator. So, more than one increment decrement operator operation. So, here when specifying the more than one increment decrement operator, the expression must be separated by comma. Then we can also write compound statement. We can also write compound statement. Example, here I less than or equal to I less than 10 and j greater than 200. We can also write this. Then we can also nesting of the for loop. Then we can also skip more than one variable. Similarly, one more is for I is equal to n divided by 10, I less than 10, I plus plus. So, here we can use arithmetic expression during the initialization. So, now the value of I is initialized by performing n divided by the value of I is initialized by performing n divided by 10. Okay, this can be achieved in the for loop statement. So, these are the additional features of the for loop. Okay, now consider one more example program using for loop statement. So, this is a program to display nth Fibonacci number. So, we know the Fibonacci series. So, 0, 1. So, addition of the first number is the next number. So, 0 plus 1, 1. Next, 1 plus 1, 2. Now, this becomes first number and this becomes second number. So, 1 plus 2, next number is 3. Next, 2 plus 3, then 5. Next, 5 plus 3, 8. Then 8 plus 5, 13. 8 plus 5, 13. Next, 21. Okay, this is the Fibonacci series. So, in this program, we need to display nth Fibonacci number. Example, if I specify 5. So, 5 is my nth Fibonacci number, means fifth number in the Fibonacci series. So, the first number is 0, second number is 1, third number is 2, fourth number is 3 and fifth number is 2 and fifth number is 3. So, here I need to display the nth Fibonacci series. So, in order to display that, we need to initialize the variables, that is num1 is equal to 0, num2 is equal to 1. So, the first number is this 0 is the first number and 1 is the second number. Okay. The third number will be generated by adding the first number and the second number. So, here for I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to n by 2, I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to n by 2, because we have already assigned the first value and the second value, first number and the second number. So, that is why we consider n by 2. So, feb is equal to, now my n value is 5, so I is equal to 1 less than n by 2, 1 less than equal to n by 2, n by 2 means 5 by 2 means 3, so 1 less than 3, condition is true. Now, num1 plus num2, num1 is 0, num2 is 1, 0 plus 1, 1. Now, the feb value is 1. So, num1 is equal to num2. So, num1 is assigned to 1. So, here num1 is 0. Now, it is replaced to 1. Num2 is equal to feb. So, feb value is 1. Now, num1 and num2 both are equal. So, this is n1 and n2. Next, it will go back to the loop again by incrementing the I value by 1. Now, I value is 2. So when the value of I is equal to 2, feb is equal to feb is equal to num1 plus num2. What is the value of num1? Num1 value is 1, num2 value is 2, 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 will be assigned to feb. Next, num1 is equal to num2, num1 value is assigned by num2, num2 is 1. Now this become en1 and num2 is equal to feb. Now this value is become en2. Next, it will go back to the loop again by incrementing the value of I by 1. Now the I value is 3, 3 less than 3 condition less than or equal to 3 conditions true. Now feb is equal to num1 plus num2. So num1 value is 1, num2 value is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 will be assigned to feb. Next, num1 is equal to and num2. So num1 value is 1, so num1 value is 2 and num2 value is 3. Next, num2 is equal to 3. Then it will go back to the loop again by incrementing the value of I by 1. Now I value is 4, 4 less than or equal to 3, condition is false. Now the feb value is 3. So the nth Fibonacci number in the series is 3. So it will display the value. Okay. This is the program to print the nth Fibonacci number in the series. Okay. Similarly, I will demonstrate some of the codes on for loop. So I will explain how to display the Fibonacci series. Here we have display nth Fibonacci number. So I will explain the program with implementation how we can display Fibonacci numbers. Just now explain the concept of for loop statement. So for loop is used for executing sequence of statements repeatedly until the condition satisfied. So here the program, in this program we are displaying the Fibonacci series. So in the class explain the program to display the nth Fibonacci number, but in this program I am displaying the Fibonacci series from first number to the nth number. Okay, now here see I have defined the integer variable I, n, t, that is t1 means term 1, term 2 means first number and the second number and the next term. Okay, here I am reading the value for n. So how many terms I need to display. So first for I is equal to 1, I is equal to n. So 1 to n. First I will display the term 1. So the first term is 0. Then the next term is equal to t1 plus t2. t1 is 0, 0 plus 1, 1. So the next term is 1. So here I am replacing the value of term 1 and term 2. So term 1 becomes the second value, means second number is assigned to term 1 and second number is assigned by adding the first term and the second term. So the second term is the sum of first term and the second term. So the second term will be replaced. Then it will go back to the loop again by incrementing the value of I by 1. Next the value will be replaced. So this loop will be iterate, means the statements 9 to 14 will be iterate till the condition is satisfied. Okay, now I want to display first 5 terms. I want to display first 5 terms. So 5 terms is 0, 1, 1, 2 and 3. So first number 0, second number 1. So the third number is 0 plus 1, 1. Next the fourth number is addition of third number and the second number. Second number is 1, third number is 1, 1 plus 1, 2. So the fifth number is addition of fourth number and the third number. So third number is 2 and fourth number is 3. Sorry, fourth number is 1 and fourth number is 2 and third number is 1. So 1 plus 2 is 3. So see here, this is the Fibonacci series value. So first number is 1, second number is 1. So 0 plus 1, 1. Next 1 plus 1, 2. Then 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, this is the Fibonacci series. Okay, the next program is displaying the nth Fibonacci number. So, nth Fibonacci number. So, in this previous program I have displayed the number sequence, but here I am displaying only the last number. Okay. Now, I enter fifth number. So, fifth number in the Fibonacci series. So, fifth number is 3. Okay, just now I have seen first number is 0, second number is 1, third number is 1, fourth number is 2, and fifth number is 3. So, here the fifth number is 3. Okay. If you want to display 10th number, if you want to display 10th number, so the 10th number is the 34. So, nth Fibonacci number for 10 is 34. Okay. This is the program to display the nth Fibonacci number. Okay, next one more program. Here the program is to find the factorial of a given number. So, one more program is finding the factorial of a given number. So, in the class I have explained the factorial for 5. So, the factorial of 5 can be found by multiplying 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So, 1 into 2 and the result will be multiplied with 3 and the result is multiplied with 4 and the result is multiplied with 5. So, here these are the statements for calculating the factorial. So, for I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus, fact is equal to fact into I. Okay, this is for finding the factorial. Okay, now I will enter 5. So, I need to find the factorial for 5. So, factorial of 5 is 120. So, the factorial of a given number is 50. Similarly, I want to find the factorial for the value 10. So, the factorial for 10 is 362880. Okay, this is a program for finding the factorial of a given number. Now, if I want to find the sum of n numbers, so hash include stdio dot h void main. Next, we need to define the variables. Okay, I define I for the looping variable and n is for number of elements and sum. Okay, sum is for finding sum of the first number. So, enter the value for n. Scanf %d address of n. Okay, now I will read value for n. For I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, then I plus plus. So, here sum is equal to sum plus I. So, here I will calculate the sum of elements. Printf sum of first n numbers is equal to %d slash n, then sum. Okay, this is a program for finding sum of n numbers. Okay, now I want to find sum of first 10 numbers. So, sum of first 10 numbers is 55. Okay, here for I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. So, sum is equal to sum plus I. If you want to find sum square of the first n numbers, simple correction here I into I. So, now I will enter 5. So, 5 is, when you enter 5, it will find I is first 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus 4 square plus 5 square. So, here 55. Okay. Like that we can use for loop for performing many operations.